Hello, my name is Anne, and you?
Hey Anna, I'm Stoyan. Good to meet you.
Me too. Let's speak about your experience here in Digital Freedom Festival, about your speech, what you are doing here.
Sure. Well, this is my second time at the Digital Freedom Festival. I really love the people here and I keep coming back. So this year I did a workshop on mastermind groups. Basically, it's a tool that helped me a lot to grow personally, to go professionally. So I was teaching yesterday how to create your own mastermind group, or basically to set up a group, kind of like a support group of people that you meet on a consistent basis, like-minded people, and you help each other with advices, with contacts, with ideas, how to grow personally or professionally, depending on what the purpose of the mastermind group is.
And what's your profession?
I'm a retired movie producer turned into a productivity coaching consultant. So the majority of things that I do today are in the area of productivity. So I work with companies as a consultant. I do trainings and workshops and coaching in a company perspective when it comes to productivity, culture, performance. And I'm writing a book right now co-writing a book with the CEO of the leading B2B startup accelerator in Europe called Startup Wise Guys. It's called Perform, the Unsexy Truth of Startup Success.
Where you plan to write your book? Where you plan to Where you plan to print your book? In what country?
Well, it's going to be in English, so it's going to be published worldwide.
And you plan to, after your speeches, present your book?
Yes, I mean the book is going to be published on the 1st of May, and of course we want to reach as many people as possible. I'll be happy to come to Russia and also present, the book and what the main concepts are there, to make the book more compelling. On top of the framework, the tools, the strategies that we would suggest in the book, we're also interviewing right now the founders of the best startups in Eastern Europe, in Nordic Europe, in the Baltics. We define a region called New Europe, which is basically all these kind of countries, and who are the founders and who are the startups in this area that are not only having a great business case, but also have a great team culture, where people are happy and excited to go to work and deliver really, really great results. So we wanted to know what's the exact strategies, because there's a lot of books about Silicon Valley and all these American companies, but what actually is happening in this region? And can we actually get inspired by the strategies that are already working for the startups out there? And when we are building our own companies, to maybe get inspired by those strategies and implement in our own teams.
And what kind of startups do you like? For example, IT startups, consulting startups.
You mean myself personally?
Yes.
Well, it really depends. I'm really founders-driven kind of person. It's not so much on the product or on the vertical. It's more about, the passion of the startups. Do they have purpose? Is the product or the solution that they bring to the market actually something they care about? And do they have what it takes? Do they have this entrepreneurial mindset? Willing to do whatever it takes to build this thing. So I'm a lot more focused on the personalities rather than the actual product or the solution.
Okay, and how can you help, for example, our Russian markets, our Russian people, our Russian startups maybe?
Me personally, maybe?
Yes. Your company, your personally?
It's a very broad question, With any company that I work with, I don't know how can I help them before I know what is their challenges or their pains. It's kind of like a doctor,
Yeah.
If you ask some doctor, how can you help the patients in Russia? I don't know, what hurts you? What is your pain?
Oh, okay. What's my problem?
So I need to make a diagnosis first.
Okay.
I need to figure out what your challenges are, and then I can maybe suggest a solution. or I can help out with facilitating a productive discussion and starting or consulting, but it first comes with understanding what's the challenges of the market, what's the challenges of the companies in Russia, and then building from there we can talk about what could be potential solutions.
Okay, and consulting in marketing, or what fields of consulting you do?
Well, my background is from movie production, but for the past now 3-4 years, again, the focus on what I do is in terms of performance, productivity, and culture. These are the unsexy things. Some people might say the fluffy stuff, but I would actually argue it's quite the opposite. It's really, really practical. So what I do is very much focused on the people in the company and building teams.
Okay. For example, if I want to build my great team, or for example, if I want to organize a great event in Belarus, in Russia, in our countries, I can ask you about help. Yes?
If you're, let's say, working for a company, or you have your own company with a certain size of team, what I can help with is to help each individual in the team to work together, to improve their personal habits, to get more productive, to get more things done for a specific amount of time. The majority of the work I do these days is focused on the so-called PERFORM framework, and it's kind of like an acronym. So PERFORM stands for P, purpose and values, E, effective planning, R, responsibilities and ownership, F, focus and execution, O, optimal energy, R, robust communication, and then M, mental toughness. So these are core areas when it comes to productivity, when it comes to culture. And again, before you start working with a company, with a team, you need to evaluate where the team is performing in each of these areas. And now that we know which is the 1 or 2 areas that are the biggest pain point, we can approach it and say, okay, let's see how we can improve with the context of your team. What is not working? There are some teams that are really good in getting things done, but then really take time to strategize, to put the things in planning in place, or they are not aligned on their values and purpose. Quite a big problem. Do we know why we do what we do?
Okay.
Does the team know why we do what we do? Do we have the same values? Like all the employees are aligned around the values of the company? Are we clear, and do we actually live these values? And once we align around those things, things get a lot better in every perspective.
Okay, and you have a speech in different countries and in different events. What events you like most, for example, this festival or another festival in Europe?
There's a lot of really cool events in Europe, that I've spoken to. So this is one of my favorites. Digital Freedom Festival is really, really cool. I love 15 Seconds in Graz in Austria. Podim in Slovenia is a really cool event also. They're taking really good care about details. I think it really depends on what you're looking for. Some people like these bigger events with Web Summit or the Next Web, like with
Slash, for example.
Slash, so what are you looking for? Do you want to meet the right people? Do you want to have a more intimate setup like here in Digital Freedom, where it's 1,000, 1,500 people maybe, where you can actually get to know people? It really is about first setting up the objective. Like in anything in life, right? What are you after? What is your outcome? When you go to a conference, what do you want to happen? Do you want to network with the right people? Do you want to party and have fun?
Present your startups or only
Present your
fun
startup
or
and find
network.
investors?
It depends on you.
Yes. So once you get clear what's your objective, then it's easier for you to say, well, where is the place I can actually reach this goal?
Okay, I understand. And you often have a speech in different conferences
These days I travel a lot. I think this year I've spoken at over 15 countries. It's not always conferences. Sometimes I travel to do trainings in companies. I work a lot with startup accelerators as well, where the PERFORM framework is a very simple tool for them to strategize and to get more tangible when it comes to culture and performance. So I don't know. I enjoy traveling a lot. I'm actually traveling more than being home these days. So it's a journey.
Nice. And what you can say how you start your international career?
Wow, that's an interesting question. Yeah, I used to be a video producer. So I had my video production company I'm based in Denmark, and I don't know. I've been going to all these seminars and trainings, and I had a coaching education as well, and I never had the guts to be the speaker myself. And one of my coaching clients called me on my bullshit one day. So he called me and he said, "Dude, what's up with the speech that you wanted to put out?" And I had this idea to put a speech called "Life is like a movie, be the freaking hero." So how can we use the toolbox of filmmaking to start seeing our life or our business as such as we're the hero of our own movie? So how do I design my life the way I want it to be? So I will talk about this speech for 2 years, but I never went out and actually do it. Before my client had to say, "Hey dude, you push me to achieve my goals, but you don't achieve yours.
Okay.
So it's my turn now to push you." And he gave me 30 days to put up my first speech. He said, "If you don't deliver, you have to pay 500 pounds to an extreme feminist organization that hates men."
Okay.
So there was a punishment. And long story short, 30 days later, I put up my first speech. It was like a workshop. And people liked it. I had a really inspiring story at the end of it, where this girl from China came and she shared how this impacted her. And I think that was the moment for me to say, hey, that's what I want to do. I need to push myself out there. And for those of you who want to be entrepreneurs and who think that it's just shiny and nice, and you're just going to cool conferences and everything is like a bright and shiny road, this is bullshit. This is full bullshit. Being an entrepreneur, it's a lot of times, especially at the beginning, it's really, really hard.
Of course.
It's really hard, and it takes years and years to actually build something of meaning. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you really want to start now, you gotta be all in. You gotta be able to pay the price. Entrepreneurship is more like not this shiny, nice, visionary kind of thing. It's more about when you start running your company, it's like you run into the jungle.
Of course.
Your main task is basically to survive. How do I survive? How do I have the resources to survive while I'm building the product and I'm testing the product market fit, and I actually ensure that there's market for what I'm about to put out there for the customers. And it requires us to start talking to the customer from the very early stage. Especially tech people who are running their companies, they always want to make everything perfect. Everything has to be perfect before we launch it. Do you guys sell right now? Oh no, we have to first build all the thing and the features.
Yes.
Do you know if the customers actually want this? So you're going to spend half a year or 1 year to build something that you haven't tested yet. No, you got to talk
You
to
first
people.
need to ask your customers what they want and build the products
All
for
the
your
time.
Customers.
All the
not
time.
Now.
Get feedback,
Yes.
adjust, do experiments, get out there, sell, see if people want to buy it, the MVP approach, the lean startup. It's a journey, you got to put up a lot of hours. Sometimes you have to, miss parties, miss weddings and stuff like that, or whatever is meaningful for you. But if you really want to win, you got to be all in for a specific amount of time at least.
Maybe you can say several advices for a person who wants to be international speaker, like
Sure.
you.
Like, where do they start, you mean?
Yes.
I think it's about, first of all, getting clear what is the topic that you want to be recognized for. in my perspective, it was productivity. So you get your niche. What is my target, and what is the topic that I wanna be recognized for, to be the expert at? Maybe you know many different things, but what is the one thing that you firstly get your brand to be associated with? So define what's your topic. It helps a lot when you're approaching event producers to come up with a title that's kind of catchy. So be careful about how you set up the title of your talk when you're reaching out to producers. And I would say for those of you who are starting out there, try to leverage your own network first. Who do I know that can put me on stage? Do a lot of free stuff at the beginning. That's another thing. Before you go out there and start making money, I mean, I did so many free talks before I started getting paid for it. And I'm super happy I did, because I wouldn't have known a lot of the things. So I got a lot of feedback, I got testimonials, I created contacts, and many of those free speeches that I did turned into paying clients
Yes.
afterwards, or you get recommended. So I would say just knock on as many doors as early as you can, get video, get pictures, get some different materials that you can start reaching out with, and just go out there, speak as much as you can. Good advice could be to hire a speaking coach as well, if you or sign up for a speaking training, or and then go into start watching and following people who are who you want to be, like speakers. Watch YouTube speakers and say, what did I like about this person? Just model them, study them. How are they staying on stage? So it's on the one side is the performance on stage, on the other side is the content, on the other side is the network of event producers. So
Or maybe also performance. Some people like performance show.
Right. Define your own style.
Yeah.
Are you the speaker who likes to have all the script and you just kind of deliver it? Do you want to add some elements? There are some people who are coming from acting, for example. So leverage your strengths. Who am I? There's some musicians that become speakers. So they can use their strengths, music, to include in their presentations. So I think it's about self-awareness, what makes you unique. I came from the movie business. I love media production. I love visual things, and my personality is kind of high energy, passion. I can't script things like completely. I'm very well prepared, but I'm structuring things, and I only have kind of frames and structures. And when I get on stage, things come. Like on this interview, we didn't have any preparation, but it's just the conversation goes somewhere, right? Other speakers like to be completely exact with the speech they want to give.
Like us.
Or people like Gary Vee, he doesn't have a clue what he's going to speak about. He's just a natural, goes on stage and does it. So who are you, right?
Yes. Okay. Thank you for your interview. Thank you for your speech. Thank you for your advices.
Thank you, Anna, for the opportunity, and hope to see you soon.
Okay.